All praises unto Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honest your brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright? And, this thing is, it's moving forward, man. As you've seen, and as the elders have been saying, it's the year of the push. And what you're seeing is, multifold events where the Most High is really letting you know that he's shaking up, rustling up the feathers and so on and so forth. And you're getting a lot of guys being deceived by their own vain imaginations and that, man. All right, because they're trying to get up on some kind of level, or they're trying to obtain some kind of, self-willed glory or something like that. The scripture talks about how humility and how really the meek was going to inherit the earth, and I'm gonna see to that in the book of Psalms the 37th chapter, because Psalms the 37th chapter goes out into how really you ain't supposed to be fronting yourself, right, when it is pertaining to Esau being in power, all right, and how Esau pretty much was going to progress by way of wickedness, man. See, you ain't supposed to fret yourself by way of the wicked prospering, man. See, I might as well get it now, man, because them precepts be jumping into my head. So I'll start off with the book of Psalms, the 37th chapter. I'll jump around a bit, all right. This is Psalms 37th chapter. And from the top on down, so it says, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither thou be envious of the workers of iniquity." All right, and you see guys, certain individuals within Nate's camp, within the IUIC, Nate included in himself, they fret themselves because of the ways of the evil, the workers of iniquity, which we know to be Esau, pursuing to scriptures such as the first book of Maccabees, the first chapter, around about the 7th verse, where it talks about how Alexandria and the Greeks, when they came into power, you had it to where wickedness multiplied. And how do you know that wickedness multiplied? Oh, the people started mourning, man. People started complaining, and you're seeing the same resurgence of those same people, those same individuals coming back into reincarnation, because the scripture talks about they nothing new underneath the earth, man. Nothing new underneath the sun. It's not going to be no new. It's all repeat. It's all cycling. All right. It's individuals coming forth into the earth that have been here before and not going to come back again. Now, see how here's where the Most High is going to flip the script. All right. Now we got it to where certain prophecies fulfilled. All right. Namely the Nebuchadnezzar dream. All right. Where if he saw the four beasts coming out of the sea being the people, proven by the book of Revelations, all right, and that's what happened, man. You had it to where the Babylonian Empire that was set up for a period of time, all right. It didn't last a day longer, or it wasn't a day shorter than that, man. So the Medo-Persian Empire, of which you had the Persians, you had the Persians come up first under Darius, if I'm not mistaken, all right. And then after Darius, you had it to where, no, that's a mistake, because I believe, actually Darius was the one I believe Alexander, took down, but that's to no avail. But pretty much you had it to where you had the Persians had their time of power, then you had it to where you had the Medes come up in there, and they had a joint rulership under the name the Medo-Persian Empire, all right, of which their kingdom didn't last a day longer. You had it to where the Greeks came in power, but see, that's why it goes into the scriptures where it talks about how the beast that was wounded, all right, and he was sent into the bottomless pit, which was Europe. And then after a period of 1,000 years, they started coming back into power by way of what? By way of Jakes that were in positions of authority was allowing it to where Esau was going to come up within that circle, within that fold, and have certain positions. See, that's how we know Esau ain't gonna have certain positions when we get up into the kingdom, because he'll just supplant like how he did, and by way of deceit, get back into a position of power, man. All right. See, but in the kingdom, the Most High set it up to where Esau's actually gonna be a slave, man. And why? In fact, he's gonna be one of the principal, subjects under which he's gonna get some of the worst, some of the worst retribution that's ever been documented, man. See, he's got to get back. He's got to pay back all of that he's done to the nation, the Hebrews, the Hebrew Israelites, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. He's got to get all of that payback, man. All right, from starting first with transatlantic slave trade. All right, destroying our people by way of the food that he's given them, and so on and so forth. All of that music, all of it, man. He's gonna have to get that payback, and that's why ultimately, when you go into the book of Obadiah, all right, the Lord said, the house of Joseph and the house of Jacob shall be a flame, and the house of Esau shall be as stubble. Meaning what? They're going to be burnt and burnt, man. The proof of that is within the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter, around about the 9th verse, which talks about the tares of the wheat. How the tares, which is them Edomites, and really he was doing that to refer to Herod, who was a tributary underneath the I forget what other Greek king or Caesar that was in power, but he was set up because he had the appearance of an Israelite, but he was really of the Edomite line, man. Okay. So you're gonna the Lord's gonna have to wear those tares after a period of 1,000 years where they serve some hardcore captivity. Guess what, man? The Most High is gonna have to wear. They're gonna be bound and they're gonna be burnt up. All right. But getting back onto the point here within the scriptures, here is what the scripture says. All right. Fret not thyself, neither thou be envious against the workers of iniquity. So when you're seeing Esau prosper and so on and so forth, you ain't supposed to be envious of that. And I see that translate to us, right? The brothers within, brothers within GMS, and you're seeing, dudes that are out here within the world prospering and so on and so forth. You see, they're prospering by way of wickedness, right? You got to look at the prosperity of what of the scriptures, because when you go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter and the 13th verse, it says, here's the whole conclusion of the whole matter: fear the Most High and keep His commandments. So your whole duty, the only means by which you can prosper is by doing what? By fearing the Most High and keeping His commandments. By way of fearing the Most High, you see that in the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter and the 7th verse, fearing the Most High, you increase in wisdom, man. And just by pure deduction, if you increase in wisdom, guess what? You're going to increase in, the carnal wealth and so on and so forth. All right? You get the book of Job. I believe it's the... Job, the 14th chapter and the 5th verse. It says, seeing his days are determined, the numbers of his month are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right. So the Lord has appointed a period of time of which Esau is going to be ruling, but after that point, he's not going to rule anymore. He ain't going to surpass that point, right? He isn't going to exceed the time that the Lord has attributed to him. All right, and that's why you have it to where you got this precept here within the book of Revelations. All right, I believe it's in the 12th chapter. Right, Revelations 12th chapter on the 12th verse. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. The devil, the deceiver Esau. All right, of which we know he's the devil. We know he's the deceiver because he's done what? He's deceived the whole world to believe in that he is God, man. To where you got Cesare Borgia up in these Negro and Hispanic Native American households, and they believe that's the true image of your house. Like, that's the true image of the man who the world knows as Jesus. But that's actually contrary, because why? Because when them so-called Jews start getting into power and by way of the Spanish strongholds that you had of the Moors out there, and they start working their way into there, and they came into power by way of the family known as the Borgias, man. All right, you had it to where his father painted his son, to basically push that disinformation out there, that flood, so that eventually the whole world was going to think that they were the true people of the Most High, man. All right, because they all their infrastructure, everything that they knew, they pretty much learned it from us, man. Whether it was culture, scriptures, and so on and so forth, they learned that stuff from us. Because even going right back onto the time of King David, guess what, man? The only laws, the things that were being taught was the scriptures. And although he was being wicked in whatever societies that we were setting up, although he was being wicked, all right, we still had certain things that we set up. So, for instance, you had the Council of the Destruction of the Scriptures, right? I believe it was the Council of Nicaea that was done by Jakes, man, wicked Jakes, that wanted to amalgamate the principles of the wicked, right, the heathen, right, with our principles, which are our principles are encased within the Scriptures, because Jake is always going to be drawn to the Scriptures. All right, that's why you got it to where the Scripture says here in the book of Romans, the 10th. Is it the Romans the 10th chapter? I believe it's Romans the 10th chapter. All right, how the Most High, but really furthermore that the Israelites have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So they they'll make Zeus the Most High. They'll make some other philosophy that's not really in the scriptures. They'll try to attribute to what's in the scriptures to them, man. But really, that goes back onto what finance and prosperity, man. All right, because to prosper within these different cultures, man, you gotta do the ways of these different cultures, man. All right. Let me get the book of Maccabees, the first chapter. All right, this is gonna be in the book of Maccabees, the first chapter. And I'll start from the 11th verse, going to prove that pretty much when Jake, which is the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, when they get, they'll have the understanding of the scriptures, but they'll try and mix it in with whatever doctrines of these different heathens, so that they can, they could better prosper amidst them, so that they could have more prosperity, so to speak. Okay, so this is Maccabees, the first chapter, and the 11th verse. It says, "In those days, when they out Israel, wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we have departed from them, we have had much sorrow." So that they were pretty much talking about. They were talking about the persecution that they were getting for serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and also too that you come with a certain doctrine, and that doctrine really means that if you go to the verses like Deuteronomy the 7th chapter and the 6th verse. We know that the Most High set up Israel to be above all nations. And if you come in that spirit, guess what, man? Ammon, Moab, them nations ain't going to be like, no, we ain't dealing with you, because your principles say that you're above us, man. We don't have to deal with you with that. All right? But see, if you start adding their doctrine to our doctrine, that's going to be better for business. And that's why you see a lot of Jake turn into, turning into these different philosophies, because it's better for their businesses. It's better for their own carnal gain. All right, but see, the Most High is looking for men that ain't gonna turn to the wayside, man. They ain't gonna go left, no right. They just gonna stick down straight with the straight and narrow path, man. All right. So let me read a little bit more of this and get back onto the stuff that I had before. It says, let's go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we have departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Okay, so you read the rest of the story and you find out that they pretty much made themselves ultimately uncircumcised, man. All right, they were still Jakes, but they made themselves uncircumcised for the sake of what? For the sake of the dainties that came with being as the part of the part of the wide gate. All right, back in the book of I wanted to precept in the book of Job. Right, this is Job, the 18th chapter, and the 5th verse. It says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine." All right. So after that period of time, when the Most High said, after Esau gets his bounds, you can't surpass that. That's when the fulfillment of the scripture is going to come to pass, where the Lord's not going to allow it for this, the light of the wicked to shine forth, man. He's going to be put out, man. His flame's going to be put out, man. And you're seeing that within this society. Starting first and foremost with the monetary side of things. All right, the pound, the dollar, the yen, whatever currency you're going into is coming into a state of chaos, man. But we have the these as low interest rates and so on and so forth. So you've got an inflated market. All right, but they're still pumping in more money and so on and so forth just to try to keep it afloat, man. All right, but ultimately what that's going to lead to is one of the most cataclysmic economic financial crashes that you've ever seen, man. All right, but see, that all goes back onto what? The more of bringing forth order by way of chaos, man. All right, see, that financial crash that you're going to get pretty soon, and that could pop off at any point, man. All right, remember you've surpassed the point that you was at when you had the 2008 crash, which implies what? Right, that you're gonna get more jobs cut when this crash comes. You're gonna have it to where you have more jobs cut than what you did in 2008. You're gonna have more issues than what you did in 2008. All right, So it's gonna be even on a greater magnitude. It's gonna be even more devastating to the people, man. And the craziest thing about it, that's all gonna push forth what the agenda that the Most High wants to set forth, man. It's pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. All right, where you're gonna have it to where you're gonna have it to where people ain't gonna be rolling up into each other's houses for a lack of bread and so on and so forth. And that's just the financial crisis side of things, man. All right, the Most High's got it to where, by way of the pride of these different cities, all right, and how they set up, and really that pride goes on to what, onto the disinformation that gets pushed out as pertaining to this truth, man. All right, the pride of these cities will have you believe that Cesar Borgia is the man of the Lord, man. The pride of these cities will have you to where you believe what? That there is no God. But see, the scripture talks about the fool has said there is no God, man. All right, that's what the scripture says, man. The scripture says the fool says there is no God. So guess what's in this society? Folly. All right, and that's proven within the book of Ecclesiastes, all right, where it talks about folly, you're set in great dignity. See, if you're an unbelieving guy out here, man, you're set on high. But see, the minute you come out, right, and you want to push this word, guess what, man? Right? The people, this society will look down on you for that, man. All right? But see, that's what the Most High is finna to return back and put into its rightful place, man. Right? Where the abundant wisdom of the scriptures is going to be held on high. And that's why the scripture also says in the book of Isaiah, I believe in the 33rd chapter, it says how knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is going to be the stability of the times, man. All right? Not your house, not your car. That's not what's going to give you stability. It's going to be the knowledge of the scriptures, man. Knowing who the Most High is coming back for, right? Knowing who the Most High is going to destroy, all right? And who the Most High is going to raise up, man. And that's all prescribed within the book of Amos, the 9th chapter and the 8th verse, man. All right? But let's get back onto this. This is Job, the 18th chapter and the 5th verse. It says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. All right, so all of these enchantments and these philosophies that Esau be pushing out, that's his light, right?
Yeah, is that all right?
Okay, his governmental structure, of which that whole government structure that Esau set up is completely contrary to the scriptures. That's why you got the elevation, right, of wickedness within the household, right? All of that will set forth this balance, man. All right, and that's what the scripture also says, man. And I know I'm quoting a lot of scriptures. It's your duty to go out there and search out the Bible and find those different scriptures. The Lord said Esau was going to come up and he was going to turn things upside down. All right, but he said, "Well, no, you know that you're turning upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay, man." So all of that turning of things upside down, see, that's all going to be attributed back unto him as judgment. All right. Job the 18th chapter and the 6th verse, it says, yea, brothermore, the light of the wicked shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out. Right, the steps of his strength shall be straightened. So as you're going forth to achieve your so-called new world order, it's going to become more and more difficult for you. Because why? Because you're going to be coming directly against the agenda of the Most High. See, all your steps up until this point, whether that be the destruction of the Negro, the Hispanic, and Native American household, all right, that's within the realms of what the Most High has allowed you to do. All right, but see, as you going forth to accomplishing that so-called new world order, you're going outside that realms, man. Right? You're going against the prophecies that the Most High set forth, man. All right. Hell, the Most High has allowed it to where all kind of people come up on the face of the earth right now. There are all kind of babies being born. But what was the reason for that? Just like how it says in the scriptures, man. All right. If the wicked be increased, it is for the sword, man. So you got it to where people, all kind of, 7 billion people upon the face of the earth. That's for judgment to play out, man. All right, and that's how, and that's the same way the Lord's allowing Esau to do certain things because he's doing it for judgment's sake, for prophecy's sake. But see, when you go outside of what the Most High has prescribed for you, right? That path is gonna be straight, man. All right. So it says there. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Man. So your own counsel is going to cast you down, and even to the end that the men that were confidence that ate at your table, they're going to leave a snare for you, man. They're going to leave a trap for you, man. All right, that being whether that being the Russians, the Iranians, or whatever, them guys are going to leave a trap for them Americans out there, man. All right, but then the scriptures goes to show you that what they're going to mutually
Hello
How we
there.
doing? You right?
Right,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
to
fine,
interrupt you.
How can I
Are we
help?
in the middle of something?
Yeah. I was getting into the scriptures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay to speak to us for 2 seconds?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
fine.
We'll leave you to it again if it's
Do you
alright.
need me to take the camera off? Or
You can leave it on if you would like to. It's
Yeah.
up to you
So
entirely.
we're just wondering what you're doing. That was
I
all.
was just reading the Bible, just
Oh, I
prophesying
see.
about what's going on in this society, man.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So, starting first with the, with the financial situation that you got.
Yeah.
All right. How your how the zero interest rates that you had for a long period of time, once that starts going up to 1%, 2%, that's going to ricochet all throughout, all realms of the industry.
Yeah.
All right. Talking about what's going out there in the Middle East.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
And all that kind of stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just obviously because you're
Been
still
through in the
filming and
Oh no, that's
in the
fine. You do.
background and everything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We
I'm always
just need
doing
to
that.
make some- Are you?
Yeah, I'm always doing that.
Are you here? Are you from York?
No. Every other weekend. I'm down here though.
And where'd you come from?
I can't say that on camera.
I have to turn the camera off.
You have to take my details.
Well, just because of the circumstances.
Right. Okay. Well, you can take my details
Yeah, that's
from
fine.
this and then
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's super. Thank you very much.